everyone, welcome back to Next New York 2026. Delighted to be joined today by Ramiro. Welcome.
Thank you.
For the sake of the audience, can you just introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are and where you come from?
Appreciate it. Well, my name is Ramiro Atucha. I am the founder of the Atucha Strategic Advisory Firm. I come with 29 years of being CEO of different companies, 3 companies in total. The last 2, the first one was Leander Games, that was specialized in the regulated European and American market. And the second one, Vibra Gaming, specialized in Latin America. So in a way, I believe I understand the both sides of the story when doing business. And I've been helping companies transition or expand from Latin America to the rest of the world, from the rest of the world into Latin America, understanding the cultural gap, the business gaps, etc.
Great. And we're here in New York, obviously North America. What's the one thing in either North America or globally you think people need to pay attention to at the moment?
Well, I mean, of course, prediction markets. Everyone is into that. It's interesting because, yes, it is a bet. You're still betting that something is going to happen and putting your money and getting a reward. But I think that the fact that that's being made and presented like you would buy stocks or like would short a stock gives access to a very different demographic and makes it more natural to make it about other topics other than sports betting. So I think that regulators are really going to struggle with that one. But I think it's a great opportunity in the industry to be first adopters, to understand it, to take advantage of it, and to find a way around regulation and with regulators to make it work.
Great. And we're obviously here in New York at the Convene. Next New York, we've known you for quite a while. Next New York, you've been to a few years. It's the first time we're doing some more content on the global side of things. Why is Next New York important for you, and what would you say for people who have never been before? Basically?
Well, I have a funny story with that. The first time that you guys organized the New York event, I remember I wanted to come, but I was hesitant, dates, the price, it's not a cheap event. I was hesitant about it, and I remember it was being said that you were running out of tickets, and running out of tickets, and running out of tickets. And I said, yeah, sure, of course. And I didn't believe it. And then when I wanted to buy them, there were no tickets. There were no way of getting the tickets. So the following time...
I think you phoned me actually as well.
Yeah, I called everyone and I said, really, I'm sure you can squeeze me. No.
I could have made a lot of money that year, I think.
Yeah.
I could have made a lot of money.
The following year, I was probably one of the first in buying my early bird ticket. Good. And I really enjoy it. I mean, everything Next does, I'm a big fan because the quality of the content, the quality of the event, of the venues, every detail is taken care, and I feel that us as attendees are really taken care of, you know, in terms of the quality of our experience, of our safety, etc. So I really enjoy it, and you get to see great networking and great quality of panels.
Great, and you think for 2026 with the start of the year, what do you think if we're going to 2027, what will people be saying 2026 will be defined by? What would you think, what would that be? I know it's a bit forward thinking, but...
Well, certainly predictions, but mainly regulation. I mean, I think that at some point regulators need to start looking at the effect, the real effect that their measures cause. I mean, if they restrain content and that makes the unregulated operators grow, then they are getting it wrong. If they put taxes on the players and that makes the unregulated grow, they're getting it wrong. And they need to start getting real about that, you know. So there are lots of conversations. We recently had the Brazilian president talking about banning gambling, online gambling at all, just 18 months after they got the regulation and they got companies investing $5 to $6 million in getting a license that's going to last for 5 years. So how do you say that? What do you think is going to happen? Do you really believe that you're going to just remove gambling from people's lives. It's not going to happen. People are going to go to unregulated. So regulation needs to be embraced. Regulated operators need to be supported instead of attacked, because they are doing the right thing in terms of compliance, KYC, taking care of the players, etc.
Yeah. And so, in one sentence, the biggest shift you think is going to happen or come about in the gambling industry?
Biggest shift is going to be the evolution of regulation. I am optimistic. I think that truth will prevail and reason will prevail, and at some point regulation is going to take the right path and start being measured by the same metrics we're all measured. We're making this decision. It was more than a phrase, but we're making this decision. We are believing that it's going to cause this impact, and we're measured by if it happens or happens the opposite, Okay,
great. Cool. So predicting the future, you think it's going to be a regulation coming down the line, but not just yet, maybe in about 5-10 years, probably.
A big regulated place, certainly Chile.
Yeah.
Chile is going to be...
Oh yeah, in Latin America, of course,
In Latin America, you're going to see Chile.
Yeah.
You're going to see Ecuador coming. And hopefully, well, not this year, but at some point, land-based in Brazil.
Yeah. Great. Listen, thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome to Next New York 2026. I'm delighted to be joined today by Chris Garrow. Chris, welcome. For the benefit of the audience, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Chris Garrow. I'm the Director of Gaming at Prairie Band Casino and Resort, just about a half hour north of Topeka, Kansas.
Great, and let's get straight into it. One opportunity that you think is going to be taking place this year in North America?
I think hopefully prediction markets and sweeps will be addressed properly and go away, honestly. Just being a tribal operator, it takes away, funds that are supposed to go directly to the tribe, and it's not really regulated, and it needs to be regulated or go away. Yeah.
Okay. And we're obviously in New York, Harlem, New York. We're at our own event, Next New York. Why is this an important event for you to attend, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
The content. There's a lot of great content, and I just want to get the most out of the education and speakers, and I want to really dial into what people are talking about with predictions and sweeps.
Great. So we've got a tribal event tomorrow, so taking place. So that's going to it's a really interesting assembly of speakers I think we've got this year. It's really getting to the nitty-gritty of everything that's going on.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you guys are doing that again. It's very important to include tribal gaming, and it just gets better and better every year. The team's done a great job putting it together. I'm excited about the content and the speakers, and it's going to be a great event, and I hope those who don't understand tribal gaming will attend some of these sessions and learn more about it.
Absolutely. And we're started 2026. How do you think this year is going to be defined?
Well, I don't think we're going to go live with any more sports betting wise. We're not going to see any additions of more markets. I think we'll probably just be a little flat for now. I know for Kansas, our contracts are up for the state-run casinos this next year, so I'm sure that's, I've seen ads on that for that right now. So we'll see how that pans out, and hopefully they negotiate properly like they should have done in the first place.
Great. And finally, if we were to sum up in one sentence, a shift that will be happening, what would that be?
Shift away from gray markets and go to regulated markets.
Wow, okay, good. Interesting. This is a very good concept. Thank you so much for today. Enjoy the rest of the show. Everyone, welcome back to Next New York 2026. I'm delighted to be joined today by Kelsey. Kelsey, welcome.
Thanks,
How are you?
Rory.
Okay? Good?
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
For the sake of the audience, would you like to just introduce yourself and who you are, what you do, where you come from?
Sure. So Kelsey Benu, I'm a gaming attorney in Reno, Nevada with the law firm of McDonald Carano. We've got offices across the state of Nevada.
Yeah, cool. And you're in New York. You've been here before.
Yes.
How is the event for you? Why is the event? Why did you come here, basically? What did you come here for?
Yeah, this is actually my third year attending. I do mainly gaming law, and I just love coming to these gaming conferences. I think this gaming conference in particular is so important. Gaming is such a widespread international industry, but really the group of people in the industry is so small, and iGaming's even smaller, but iGaming is just growing. We are seeing so much growth with it right now with new technology, new products, and I think having an iGaming specific conference is so important to stay on top of everything.
And shopping in Soho.
Yes. Of course. Staying in Soho, shopping in restaurants in Soho are a must.
Good. Anyway, the opportunities that are around at the moment, what do you see as those opportunities happening in the industry at the moment? What are they?
Obviously, we're seeing a lot with AI right now.
Yep.
Seeing a lot of AI companies pop up. How can we utilize AI? How can AI kind of be regulated by the gaming industry, the various jurisdictions, gaming boards, commissions? How can it be used to submit monthly, quarterly reports for a lot of our operators and clients? So lots of AI, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
Is your firm focusing a lot on that at the moment, or?
Our firm, we are launching, not launching, but testing, beta testing some new AI products. Trying to see how we can utilize them as attorneys. It's a bit different because we deal with such confidential information. We need to make sure we're using something that's, a closed source, a closed universe, if we're inputting any confidential client information. But yeah, we're playing around with it a bit, definitely. I think anyone who's not kind of exploring AI will be behind shortly.
And if fast forward 12 months, someone was to say to you, what defines 2026, what would that be, do you think?
What defines 2026?
Well, yeah, what is going to be about 2026 is going to be?
I feel like it's got to be prediction markets, That's probably the answer everybody's giving. But we saw daily fantasy sports, sweepstakes, prediction markets. I think in 2 years we'll probably be talking about something else. But I would say probably prediction markets and AI right now.
Describing in one sentence the biggest shift in this industry that's going to happen, what do you think that'll be? What do you think is going to move the needle, so to speak?
Sure. I would say openness to innovation and regulatory updates. I think with the technology we're seeing, we've got to update and bring our regulations and gaming laws into the 21st century to really get caught up with everything.
Great. Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining. Wish you all the best and have a great show.
Thank you. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.
I'm delighted to say I'm joined here by Adam Small. Adam, welcome to the event. How are you?
Great to see you, Rory. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great. And if you could just, for the sake of camera, just introduce yourself and what you do and what you do.
Yeah, my name's Adam Small. I have been in the gaming industry for more than 20 years now. I started a site called Pocket Fives back in 2005 that was an online community for poker players, first ranking system for online poker when everything was fully anonymous, no one knew who anyone was, and we kind of figured that all out and got everyone's names out there. And then later I've done a couple of affiliate networks, media sites, and I've got a company now called Third Planet Media. We run the site ingame.com.
Great. And you were here yesterday. You had a panel was on the main stage?
Yeah, I had a panel with Matthew Berry and Amy Biros, and we talked about the media branded sports books and ESPN Bet, Barstool, all those different brands.
Did it get a bit heated, you said? Or?
It was great. No, it didn't get heated. It was just interesting.
No chairs being thrown.
Smart people with good answers, and I think it was compelling. There were a lot of people in there.
Yeah, great stuff. So we're here today. Just let's talk about the opportunities and maybe issues that you think is going on at the moment. If you just give us your thoughts on that.
The opportunities in the industry right now, yeah. So for us, I mean, it's going to be the words everyone else are saying, prediction markets. But I have, I mean, for me as an affiliate and as a media company, I have, I guess, a bit of a twist on it that we're trying to still figure out if the model's the same as what it's been in these other verticals where basically it's been acquisition forever. With poker, with sports betting, with casino. We've just gotten paid on referrals forever. And with prediction markets, it might be a little different. We hear words like order flow being thrown around, and I just think it might work a little differently, and we're still kind of trying to get to the bottom of it. But for the most part, we're following the same blueprint, trying to build up authoritative sites and send traffic.
Cool. And another busy day in New York here at the Convene at the summit. Why is this sort of style of event or type of event important for you to attend and make a priority in your calendar?
Well, I'll give you guys a plug here. I mean, this is my favorite event of the year. I go to several conferences. First of all, I love New York. It's nice to come, and Convene's a great place to have this event. So the last couple of years has been a really good. It's always good, but the last couple of years have been great. But also for me, as a professional in the online gaming space specifically, this conference is much more targeted towards me than something like G2E, which I also love, but it's just, there's a lot of slot machines and stuff like that out there, and this one is more like the kind of people that I'm looking to talk to are around every corner.
Great. And on the theme of predictions, we asking a lot of people here what they sort of want to see 2026 to be defined as, if you were to look back, say, in a year's time.
I think it's going to be a year of a lot of regulatory shakeout, and I think that'll probably go on into 2027 as well.
Really?
That we'll see how things shake out in court, because there's a lot of litigation going on.
Sure.
We'll see what kinds of sort of synergies or partnerships are forged between companies in the prediction markets vertical, in the sweepstakes vertical, and the sort of traditional OSB. How these companies come together or pull apart, and I just don't believe that there's going to be all these separate sort of parallel-ish tracks going on for long. I think it's going to sort out, and we're going to see a lot of progress on that this year.
Great. And final question, if one big shift, if you can sum it up in one sentence, you think is going to affect the industry at all, what would that be?
I think if we see the prediction market stuff go to the Supreme Court, that's going to be a big one to follow. Probably the most momentous thing would be however they rule on that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. Well, listen, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Rory.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to Next New York 2026. I'm in the very unique position to be interviewing Jesse Learmonth. Normally it's the other way around, isn't it? So
I'm usually the one asking the questions.
Yes, I know exactly. How is it? Are you okay? How's it going?
Doing well. Another fantastic conference, Rory. Thanks to you and the team for hosting us once again. It's been phenomenal.
Great stuff, thank you. And for the sake of the audience, for those who don't know you, if you just let them know who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So my name is Jesse Learmonth. I am the founder of Betting Startups. We are a media, technology, and events company that connects the early stage and startup ecosystem within real money gaming, and we're trying to support the founders that are trying to bring the next innovations to market.
Great stuff. And how was Stardies? Stardies was on Monday, wasn't it?
It was on Monday night.
Success, I hear.
We threw a party on Monday night to kick off the week.
Party of all parties, is it?
That's right. So the Stardies is an event that we throw for the startup community and people that support the startups and the founders that are building within the space. We had a good time. It happened to be the anniversary of the death of the notorious B.I.G., so we made it Biggie themed. We're in New York. We wanted to honor the late, great Biggie Smalls, and it was a good time had by all and a great way to kick off the week.
Coming in and everything like that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Well done. Congratulations. I hear it was a great success, so well done. So first of all, welcome. And we're just talking about the opportunities and sort of issues you think are facing the industry right now. Anything you've heard specifically through your conversations here, or anything you want to add?
Well, all my answers to you, Rory, are going to be through the lens of all of these startup companies that are trying to break through. So from that perspective, you know, the challenge for a lot of these startups is just getting discovered, being seen, and trying to bring their innovations to market, and particularly for the ones that are trying to work with some of the sports books and the operators, you know, how can they get onto the roadmaps to get integrated with these operators? It's an ongoing challenge, an ongoing struggle, and really it's all about how do we drive and support innovation and ultimately help the end consumer find new ways to engage with the sports that they love and the products that they enjoy playing.
Are they find that harder now to get that connections and those networks, or?
It remains a challenge, I will say. I would suggest it's getting a little bit easier in the sense that if you take the view that the first few years post-PASPA was really a land rush where it was all about market access, that's all fairly settled now, so now the operators have the bandwidth and the capacity to start to look at what's next, which is innovation, right? The land rush is over, things are fairly settled. Now it's all about market share and how can operators position themselves to capture the market, which is to say, for the startups, they're getting a lot more time and attention from the operators that see these startups as people that can help them really differentiate themselves in an increasingly crowded market.
Great. And so obviously the event here in New York, we worked quite close together before in the past. What is it about this event that you think is important for someone who hasn't attended before? Why is it relevant why would it be relevant for them? And what is it like you want to get out of these kind of events in particular?
So again, credit to you and the team for this event. What I absolutely love about this event, and I think the sentiment and the feedback I've heard from the others that are here this week, is that this event is senior level people within the industry, decision makers. It's a very intimate feel, and for those that have gone to other industry events where there's 20, 25, 30,000 people, these big tentpole events, those are great and they have their place. They're chaotic, they're overwhelming. This is a much more intimate feel, greater access to people that can really help you move the needle for your business. Again, for the startups that are trying to get discovered, no better place to be than in the room here, meeting operators, meeting investors, meeting partners that can really help them move the needle for their business. So fantastic event, high quality people, high quality content and sessions, phenomenal show, Rory.
Great, thanks. And looking ahead like to 2027, what do you think, and again from maybe a startup point of view or from your own viewpoint, what do you think 2026 is going to be remembered for?
Well, from an industry perspective, there is the building tension, let's say, between the state-regulated OSB model and the federally regulated CFTC model. Things are continuing to play out in real time, but there is this growing tension between the two. I think 2026, when we look back on it, it will be the year that we look to as being kind of the year where we figure out what the relationship ultimately is between these two different product verticals. Are they the same thing? Are they different? Can they coexist? Right now, there's a lot of opinions around that. Nobody really knows. But I think this year there will be a lot of clarity by the time we get to the end of the year.
Cool. And one final question. The one sentence, the shift that's going to change the industry, or the shift that's going to happen in the industry, what do you think that's going to be?
A little bit cliche with every time about prediction markets here, Rory. What I will say about that, though, to qualify my answer there a little bit, the arrival of prediction markets for me really has been this moment that has now blurred the lines between different product categories, between traditional sports betting, fantasy sports, but now all of a sudden people that are, financial traders are coming into this space, people that are into any amount of speculation. There's a blurred line between these different product categories, and now, even DraftKings last week announced that their super app, which is going to have all of these products in one experience. Better as well. Yesterday, Joey Levy was up on stage talking about the same thing. All of this is converging now into one everything app, if you will. So anybody that wants to back an opinion with money, whether it be financial instruments, whether it be the outcome of a sporting event, whether Bitcoin's going to go up or down, it's going to all happen in one place now, whereas historically, different products, different user experiences, everything's blending together, and I think that is the shift that we're seeing play out in real time right now.
Great. Listen, thank you so much for coming.
Always a pleasure.
Enjoy it, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jesse. Cheers.